The man upstairs, by Reddit user Swenjan. When I was in college, my roommate and I made a late decision to stay in town for the summer and take a couple of classes. Since we made the decision later than most, we couldn't stay in our current place and ended up connecting with old friends who wanted to sublet their apartment for the summer. Their community wasn't our first choice, but it was cheaper and short term. The complex was further out from the campus and pretty spread out. It wasn't known as a popular student housing option and was maybe a little sketchy, but college living arrangements can be questionable. The unit was set up in 3-story buildings, 2 units per floor. Instead of a main entrance with an interior staircase, the stairs were on the outside, like a centre stairwell. Every unit had its own balcony, and oddly, the balconies didn't lock. Our new place was on the 2nd floor. Once you opened the balcony doors, our front door was straight ahead, and my roommate's bedroom window was to the right. Our building was pretty quiet. The other 2nd floor units were empty, and we had occasionally seen tenants on the 1st floor, but never heard or saw anyone on the 3rd. One weekend, my roommate went home, and I had the place to myself. I went to the movies with a friend, who dropped me off at 11. She was there in a rush, and took off while I was still walking up to my building. It was dark, but the building was decently lit, so I wasn't speedwalking. I had just reached the stairs when I heard a male voice say, "Hey," from the balcony. Being a younger girl, I ignored it and didn't look up. "Hey!" This time the voice was insistent and frustrated, so I started walking as fast as I could up the stairs. I had just reached the 2nd floor landing when I heard the balcony door above me bang open, and someone with heavy footing came hurrying outside. I yanked my balcony door open, slammed it, and promptly dropped my keys. I was panicking, so getting my keys and unlocking the door felt like it was in slow motion. I got the door unlocked and slammed it behind me, locking it again as fast as I could. I leaned against the door in a kind of dazed relief, and then I heard the balcony door open. All of the lights in my place were off, and I was too scared to move around. I was afraid if I looked out the peephole, this guy would be staring right at me. So I pressed my ear against the door and listened. "Are you in there?" He must have said this right into the door because it was right in my ear. I jumped off the door like someone had fired a gun. The doorknob started moving casually, like nothing was weird, then a little harder, then like someone was clearly rattling it. Then the whole door frame shook. He started throwing himself against the door, kicking it, putting his weight into it. I started crying, but still hadn't moved much. I kind of couldn't believe what was happening. I kind of kept thinking he'd left, and then he'd go crazy on the door. Then stop, and start again. After a couple of attempts, he talked into the door again. It wasn't yelling, it was this low, hateful voice. "Open the fucking door, you little bitch." I started crying hard, when he started quietly laughing. It would go from pounding to silence, and then little bursts of laughter. Like he couldn't hold it in. The way someone laughs when they're trying not to. I started kicking my roommate's window and trying to yank that open next. I finally ran to my bedroom and called 911. This was a small place, so I could hear him while I was waiting. I made the operator promise me about 5 times that the officers were there before I would come to the front door. The cops had led him off the balcony, and one came inside to talk to me. The officer explained the man was claiming I was his girlfriend and that I had locked him out. He had said we had been drinking a lot and I was drunk and confused. The cop was a little harsh with me before realising I was sober and terrified. He asked me if I would look at the man and confirm he was a stranger, and then they would take my word for it. I really didn't want to look this man in the eyes, but agreed. The man was being held by another cop in my balcony doorway, totally calm. He was very tall and had long dark hair to his shoulders. He was definitely older than a student, maybe in his mid-30s, but looked normal. The way he looked at me though made my stomach drop. He had this expectant little smile on his face, like any minute I was going to confirm his story. Obviously, I didn't, and darted back into my place. Apparently, after I went back inside, he started trying to fight the cops, and they officially arrested him. The worst part was, when they were walking him down the stairs, he started screaming, I know she's alone in there. She's by herself in there. I don't know if he had been watching us or was just insane, but it was extremely disturbing. I didn't spend much time there for the rest of the summer. The apartment office let me know because of my situation and the state of his apartment. He had been evicted and I never saw him again. It upset me though for a long time to think about what could have happened if he had been a little faster or I had been a little bit slower getting to the door. P.S. A man tried to chase me into my apartment, then break in. He knew I was by myself. Kill the kid, get the girl. By Reddit user DawnBreakeronWar. This happened around 10 years ago. I believe I was 11 or 12. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Our house was kind of isolated. I mean, there were houses nearby and whatnot, but it was a bit further down the road. When I was younger, my family was in bad financial crisis and we didn't have a fence or anything like that. We had a bush fence with a small broken door to the porch before the door to the house. One night I was playing some video games. I was alone with a friend. My sister and my parents were out at that time. My friend, who was a girl, 3 years older than me, so she was about 15. My family and her family were close friends for a long time, so she was like a big sister to me. You could say she was babysitting me, but not really. Anyway, she went to get some water, and she came running back towards my room and tells me to turn off my gaming console. I asked her why she was so scared, and she turned off my PS2 and my light. She tells me to stay close, and she tells me, I've seen 2 older men outside, and they have a camera that film in the house. My friend and I tiptoed around my house to get a knife in the kitchen. In the dark with no lights anywhere in the house, and I see one of the men trying to open our door by fidgeting the door handle. My friend starts to freak out, and she sees one of the men trying to pick the lock on the door or something. The other guy is nowhere to be seen. Now my dad had a gun given to him by a close friend. Since his friend worked at the police, my dad never used a gun before, and never used the one he was given by a friend. My friend knew my family had this gun, and asked me where it was. I told her it's in my parents' bedroom at the top of the wardrobe. We both went to my parents' bedroom. My friend got the gun and loaded it partially with 2 or 3 bullets. Out of nowhere, we could hear one of the windows break in. We could hear the guy very clearly, but the other guy, he was kind of muffled since he had a mask on, speaking to the first one who was picklocking the door. He told him, "Get away from the door. I found a way in. Kill the kid, grab the girl." At this point, I sort of froze and almost blacked out a bit. I couldn't think straight. My friend started running with my dad's gun towards him and screaming her lungs off in Serbian. "If any of you motherfuckers hurt Igor," my real name, "or me, I will shoot your fucking dicks off." The men bolted just before entering the window, and my friend unlocked the door and started running towards them till she ended up on the street, where she fired off a warning shot into the air. I remember the shot being loud since where I lived was so quiet. She came back inside the house, called the police, my family and hers, and we tell the story to everyone. My mother, she cried so much that night. The police told us there were some breaking and entering incidents near where I live, and some of the families were hurt, but no one had died. It seemed like these guys were amateurs. Many days passed, and it seems like they found one of them, but they never found the other one. Thankfully, I've never had a similar experience like that ever again. Thank you to the story providers of this video, to you lot for listening, liking and subscribing. You're all awesome. /Tuesdays. And always remember, if trouble comes your way, just try to make yourself look big.